Just kidding. Okay, so like I was explaining, this is the ROS. Anytime we have a sale by the DMV, we have to have one of these. Now, this document is very important and very expensive. So with that being said, you want to wait to fill this out until the customer has agreed to purchase the vehicle. To fill this out, very simple. You always want to come back here and get the ROS that is smaller than the final one, so that's how you can tell. For example, this final one ends at 50 and this one is at 46. So that tells me I'm going to grab this one. Another trick of the trade, the one that's kind of jacked up in the end typically is the last one. So this goes in here. We'll go into detail on how to fill this out later. In here, I did include another manila folder. This is for our in-house financing titles. So for whatever reason we get a vehicle and we're in-house financing it, I will put the title in here until the customer has paid it off. Once he pays it off, I will mail it to him, which the address is here, and call it a day. The next section that we have is what we do with cars we've already sold. We have two sections. We have the awaiting title registration section and the need to register section. So awaiting registration or title means we're either waiting for the title, we haven't received it for whatever reason, or we need to go take it to our registration lady, get that registered, and then from there we will send it, take this folder, and move it to the sold inventory. The next section, the need to register, is for deals that we have the title, we're just waiting to get the registration for. So what I did back here is I put repo vehicles in this section because we can't technically lose it in the sense of putting it in the sold inventory, because after the end of the year it goes in a box like this and we'll never have access to it. So I just leave it here just so for our references we can easily get it if we need it. Okay. So for example, these are some deals we made yesterday. We have the titles for these vehicles, so we just need to register them. As you can see, I filled this out by including the customer's basic information. Very straightforward. On the top, I included the bank that we used to finance the date we sold it. And then on here, actually I didn't include it, but we should include the rep's name. For this particular vehicle, the rep was Angel. So I'll just put Angel on the top. Doesn't have to be anything special, just very straightforward. This other one was for Dion, so just write it there. Perfect. So we go into the need to register section, put it in there, and it stays there until we send out the registration and it's been funded. Perfect. Oh, here's another one. This one we're going to sell, so we'll leave it in the awaiting title because we don't have it yet. So this is the customer file. As you can see, it's not too overfilled due to the fact that what we do here is we only place a few pieces of information. Typically it's any promissory notes that are included, a copy of the ROS and the 262 goes in here, and then the $40 a day contract goes in here too. If this was a cash deal, like let's see, there's another one, this one, the contract would go in here as well. The only reason why I don't have a contract in all of these is because we upload them on our computer digitally, so that way it's easier for us to have access to it, and it cuts the cost of paper, which is great. So this is organized by last name in alphabetical order. So just remember, when you're filling out the personal folder, always put their last name first, then their last name, the car that they purchased, and the day they purchased it. Super simple, quick and easy. You can also put here any extra copies of information we received, so bills or so on and so forth will go in here. Now this is the sold inventory drawer. This one is really important to keep very organized, because if for whatever reason we need to reference it, it'll be a lot easier than having to scroll through all of these to find a particular customer. So the way that we do this is in quarters. So today we are in April, so technically it's Q2. So all the vehicles that we sold from April 1st will go in here. Now we have two sections for each quarter. One is the financing, and the other one is cash. And how you can tell is there's a cash tab on there. So any deals that we sell cash, we'll start from the back and move forward, and so on and so forth with the financing. Now this, like a quarter, is going to be broken down into 4 months, and depending on the time of the year, might go into a little longer than that. Now, what I did is, once we're done with Q2, we're just gonna pick up the entire stack and bring it towards the back, keeping it in order, and keep moving until the year is over and we eventually clean out the drawers and go from there. Now I've already put them in order, so it's really minimal. You don't really have to move anything. In this back, we have a very special section called the sold through auction. Now, we very rarely sell cars through auction, but however, for whatever reason, we do put it through the auction and it sells. That slip will go in here. And I only do this because it's very minimal. There's nothing personal in here other than a slip saying that we've been paid for. So I just leave it there. Behind that, we have the voided ROS. Now this is where we keep all the ROSs that we've messed up on, because we can't submit this to the DMV with mistakes. I'll show you one here. This particular lady came in and she wanted to purchase a vehicle. She had signed the entire contract, and at the end of the day, she decided not to purchase the car. So we had gone in and filled it out, but since she never returned, we had to legally void it out. So just like a check, you write void on it, you bring it back here, and you want to start from the beginning and work your way forward and leave it there. We have to have count of all these, so it's very important not to throw them away. Super easy. Now the final drawer that we have here is our staff. Now this is where we keep all the information for our employees, reps, and in the back is where we keep all of our legal documents for our accountant. We don't touch this until she's here. When she'll request us to go pick it up, we'll bring whatever she requests. It's all labeled and take it to her. Here we have our stack of reps. Typically the ones that we charge for their monthly are going to be in this section right here, where it's separated from the rest. All this over here is reps we've had in the past but are no longer with us. So if for whatever reason one of our reps decides to leave, we just grab his folder and put it in the no longer active folder, just to make it easier on us, and we know who to charge at the end of, or the beginning or end of the month here. In this particular folder, you are requested to have a credit card application form for them. Now this is how we charge them their monthly. We need their driver's license, and we also need their social security number for tax purposes. And all that is kept here, locked away, and they'll continue to look like that. Pretty simple. That doesn't necessarily have to be in alphabetical order, but if you want to do it, go ahead. It doesn't really matter, so I don't kind of stress over it. This is another one that we've sold. I'm just going to put it under the need to register file since we have the title for it. Lock it up, and that's pretty much that. Very simple.